All right, good morning, everyone again. Thank you for joining this week's Weekly Wave. This is going to be the last Weekly Wave of 2020. We'll be sending out the registration links for the next round of Weekly Wave calls here in the next day or two, and they'll also be available on our on the Wave website, on the Wave, and on our Microsoft Teams channel as well. So we will get those out to you guys as soon as possible. Calls will start back up in January. So just to go ahead and get started, for those of you who are on today's call and we're looking for the PDF and the video from last week, there was no recorded video from last week, and we will try and get those PDFs up as soon as we can as well. So just to get right into the call, there's not a lot of updates. So we'll get right into it. First off with reports. So there are only 2 WAVE reports open at the moment, one being the FQSR, which is due and will close tomorrow. This is another extension that we have. We are pretty at the moment strict with this, with the closing of the report. We cannot leave it open over the weekend for adjustments. The WAVE will be going through some mandatory updates and adjustments, so we need to make sure that we don't have data refreshing over the weekend as well. So the report will be closing tomorrow. If you haven't already reached out to our office or state aid about your issues, please make sure that you have done so. The last I checked, we did have about 23 districts out for one reason or another that have not certified their reports, so that the state aid office and your RAO can go through and audit and review the information that was certified. So again, if you have not reached out to our office or state aid, please do so today because the FQSR will be closing tomorrow going forward. So with the pre-code report, that is also going to be due next year. January 8th is when it will be closing, so that all the pre-ID labels can get to the testing vendors in a timely manner. So if you have questions or issues with that report, not related to what I'm about to go over, do reach out to the assessment office. If there's something that our office needs to do, they will reach out to us and let us know of any issues. So speaking of issues, we've got a few across both reports that I just talked about. So with the FQSR, I do know that there are still some districts that have issues with their reports. We are still working on those as of this morning. We still have some districts having issues with their attendance or transportation. So like I said, if you haven't reached out to both our office and state aid, we are working in tandem most of the time with district issues. Do make sure that you're reaching out to us so we have a understanding of what's going on with your district or sites. Some issues are simply you need your data to be cleared and repulled or refreshed. Some issues are vendor specific. So you'll want to make sure that you are reaching out to both of our offices. If you're still not seeing any transportation or attendance for a particular set of students, but in your student information system, you're seeing those values, do reach out to your student information system support. If you were to ask us, about 9 times out of 10, the issue is your vendor is not sending the state transportation or attendance when it's being requested. We do request that information on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So at some point, we should be able to, display any updates that you're showing or you're making in your student information system, or if you're inputting transportation, we should be able to show that as well. So again, if you're not seeing transportation or attendance on your FQSR at this point in time, you need to reach out to your vendor immediately to make sure that whatever is wrong in your student information system is corrected, and that the state requests for that data to be sent again. But if you're having issues with your reports specifically, say you're going in there and you're looking at each site and those numbers are matching up, but when you go to look at the district-wide numbers and those aren't matching up, that is a situation where you're going to want to reach out to us immediately as well, so we can get that corrected for you. It's not affecting every district to our understanding, but again, if you are still hanging out on the report in either in progress or this is stopping you from being able to certify, reach out to us so we can make sure to get that corrected for you today, so that you can get that report corrected, or not corrected, but confirmed or certified tomorrow. And with the pre-code report, we have been getting some emails about students who were unenrolled before, either at the beginning of the year or sometime in November, who are still showing up on the pre-code report. Obviously, if a student is not enrolled in your school site, we aren't, there's no reason for us to make a label for them. So this is going to be addressed as soon as it is corrected. There is not a note on the WAVE homepage right now, but there will be to tell you that this issue has been corrected. So again, if you do have students that were unenrolled and should not be on this report any longer, we will be making that correction to the report very soon. I don't have a exact date for you guys right now, but we will make sure as soon as we do get that, we will let you know. And most likely on the WAVE homepage is where we'll update that information for the time being. So if you are seeing any other incorrect information, say you have a student that has the incorrect accommodation showing on the pre-code report, that is coming from EdPlan, and so you want to make sure to get with your special ed directors to make sure that the appropriate information is being entered into EdPlan so we can get the correct accommodations displaying on the report. Otherwise, we, for the most part, are using the business rules given to us by the assessment office on which grades need to be taking which set of tests, whether or not that's paper or pencil or if it's online. So going forward, we do have some updates that I just need to address blanketly. STNs, if you are seeing, for those of you who wear dual hats, and you're also in the accountability office's accountability reporting, and you're seeing STN conflicts through their report, they do have a blurb that says they've already notified the office responsible for handling STNs, and that is us. We are still working through linking or unlinking, in some cases, STNs. So there's no real reason for you guys to send us the screenshots or just copy and pasting what's in accountability to the student data info inbox. We are well aware of those conflicts. We still have about a little over, just shy of about 3,000 or so STNs that we do still need to link in some form or fashion. So we are working on that in the background. If you do have STN conflicts, say you're seeing them in EdPlan, and this is causing you to not have files transferring over or being merged appropriately, those cases, please still do email us about those so that EdPlan can merge records as necessary. We're just asking right now for the ones coming through accountability specifically. We are already aware that those conflicts exist, and we are working together on that to make sure that those STN conflicts get resolved. So As soon as we do need you guys to automatically email us on those STNs, accountability will update that blurb. But until then, just know we're working together on it. It's just something that they're displaying to you guys to help out with a lot of the audits that they're being required to do by our state government. So along with that, the comprehensive exit report for accountability as well. That report, for those of you who were looking at our reporting requirements calendar, that's available on our website, you would have noticed that that report was scheduled to open, and it is not right now. Right now, that report is not going to be opening up in the Wave. And this is fine. So for those of you who are just trying to get your ducks in a row and are looking out for that report, just know you're not going crazy. This report is not scheduled to open at its normal time or normal place. So just be aware of that. The dropout report, we have been getting questions about that as well. This is a report that has usually been already opened, but it is not, again, right now. We are still working on some of the logistics for this report to make it a lot more user-friendly for you all, as well as still allowing for you to get the same information that you're used to getting out of the old single sign-on application. Just to give you some information on where this is going to be, the new dropout report is going to be available in the Wave, and it is going to be open for the most part all year, and you'll be able to get your the dropout reports that you may be printing out and submitting to your school boards just as normal throughout the year, and it'll all be available to you. More detail will go out once the report is a little closer to being opened. Right now, we're hoping that it'll be out early next month. We're about a couple months behind on our original deadline for this report. So we do apologize for those of you who are setting back on being able to get those dropout reports to your school boards. But do know that we aren't just forgetting about it. We are working on that. We want to make that available to you guys. So just be on the lookout for an email from our office giving you more detail about what that dropout report is going to look like. We've got a lot of new things coming for you guys over the next couple of weeks and into January. So be on the lookout for, again, emails from us just explaining everything that's happening and not necessarily all the changes that are happening, but some of the new things that you may be seeing as you're going through single sign-on or going through the Wave. So with that, I will go ahead and shift it over to our usual slides for questions and where we're putting all of our documents and guidance. So there will be a recording of this weekly Wave, and PDFs will go up like normal. You may not see that information, like I said at the beginning of this call, for last week, but you will have this week's call information just like normal here soon. So I'll go ahead, stop the recording here and open it up for questions and likes.